Hi, welcome. On this video, I'd like to talk about the issue of relationship and specifically how the perceptions of the dog change through the method, through proper investment in the method itself, through identifying what the process is, to begin to affect change at the relational level or relationship level. And so this issue about, again, working off the theme of disconnect, okay, because so much I show in the dog training world is so disconnected from what's really happening, including the amount of dogs being destroyed, questions about the increase in dog bites year over year, and this ideology which is basically steamrolling over balanced dog trainers as well, who bring a very confused message into that narrative. But again, what I show is the narrative itself, this learning-based narrative, is in fact the real problem with how the picture frames up this issue with understanding the depth of a dog's mind through this issue of motives and control, really getting a sense of how this learning-based narrative, how it frames it up, how it plays off those issues of control when you enter into the process. The fact that many dogs can and will hold on to control in the relationship even as the picture's being painted through this response narrative through incentivizing the dog using certain motivating agents such as treats, even the issue of what the incentive is, the depth of that, even through the issue of control itself, how a dog would do A, B, and C to get to D once they have a certain level of control, and the assumptions that are made through response off of, again, the dog's state of mind, this type of a mainstream interpretive alignment. Very common. But again, to understand even what I'm saying, it comes to through experience. It comes to really challenging this narrative in such a way to face off on these problems, to say there's something going on here that's causing this picture not to line up. Again, and that's in your face. If you're a trainer, that's in your face. You'll see it in this. I asked, and then I found the answers for those tough questions many years ago. So again, really important to understand, you have to be able to face off on the issues. But again, getting this issue of investment, okay, even if you look at the issue of the proactive nature of change, okay, that's what the system's based on, about relational change, how that lines up, and the reactive nature, okay, even of a corrective type of approach where you're incorporating corrections into the narrative, where no influence comes online at a certain point of a dog's state of mind, how it's being expressed. By understanding the issue about these control issues, okay, where that person's really at when they step into a process, and how the reactive nature of the things you're doing, how they play out, oftentimes allows a dog to keep a certain level of control. This is a really important point here. I want people not to miss this. That's the real problem, is what that narrative represents combined with other things, how oftentimes it doesn't work out for people that are in a major deficit at a certain level. But then, okay, the twist is the fact that I can step into, incorporate certain, concepts into my approach and get away with it, okay, based off how I think, because in how I interact and connect with the dog. Because that's the thing, is understanding this relational aspect of training. But again, getting this issue about investment, understanding that, when you really understand, start to process this, okay, what is the training process? How is change created going from this type of mainstream narrative, this position-based narrative, into a different approach, okay? And so this system's based off a interaction-based framing up process, okay, with going beyond, looking for, say, a motivator. Okay, how do I just build this picture? Going into, say, no, the process itself, how it's defined at the interaction level, that's the motivator. The dog coming into agreement, okay, with the process, with the type of influence that's manifesting to create change. So, just so people understand, a lot of work went into this system. This is not just, I didn't dovetail into someone else's system. Of course, when you start off, you're going to look and perhaps follow someone else, incorporate certain things, but there definitely has to come a point where you're going to look at and say, well, okay, there's major problems here. What's the answer? Again, when I say that, I've arrived at the answers, I really have. And again, but it's very transparent. I would encourage anyone to look at the system, and you can put it to the test. I mean, you can look at how I break the stuff down, how I identify what the issues are, but not just the issues, what the solution is. So this system is a one-of-a-kind system. You won't find, I guarantee you, you're not going to find any other system out there in the dog training world that comes close to this system, how I approach training. The majority of trainers, over 99%, probably above that, because again, I don't see anything else, anyone out there talking the way I'm talking. Even these balanced dog trainers, they all align with this type of, they come into agreement with this type of learning-based concept. And again, I show why there's problems there in that. So again, if you have any questions about training, about the right path to get started with your dog, take a serious look at what I'm showing. It really can make a huge difference. If you're working within this learning-based narrative, even with these balanced dog trainers, truly, you're rolling the dice. Because trust me, these people are not looking at a dog's state of mind that way. They're not, they're looking at a very superficial level. They're working off a response, and they're making assumptions. Okay, they're not breaking it down like this. They're not putting the most of the dog to the test. But here's the thing: if they're working within that narrative, looking at that, I already know they don't understand it, because they wouldn't be doing the things they're doing if they did. So anyway, just something to think about. Check out my website; lots of great information. Thanks for watching.